is going to help them. Not necessarily make it better, but in a sense put our input in by taking down a regime, just like we did in Iraq, just like happened in Egypt. Now, just from your perspective of Occupy Wall Street, if you guys want to look good in the press and have people respect what you have to say, you have to take into account everybody around the world and what you guys mean to them. You feel me? What that means is when you guys make statements and when you guys do your marches, make sure that you hinder on points of what's going on in Syria, what's going on in Israel, and what's happening in Iran. Because that's what's moving the entire world right now, not just American economy and Occupy Wall Street. Nah, it's all good. That's all I want to say. So you guys, good luck with your movement. And like I said, keep it positive. None of this negative energy around here. Because I got the most negative energy. This shit's crazy.
So I'm last on stack for announcements. It's really weird because I'm a facilitator. Is the room okay with me making an announcement? It's for tomorrow's action. Everybody okay? Anybody have any concerns? No? Cool. All right. So tomorrow there's an action by Occupy Faith community leaders. So Occupy Faith is going to be doing an action at the northwest corner of 40th Street and 3rd Avenue. That is the office of New York State Governor Cuomo, who is cutting $20 million funding to the homeless services. He's doing that because he says New York State doesn't have money. He's saying that because there are loopholes that enable corporations in New York State to pay less taxes than the 4%, 45% paid by families. So the Occupy Faith community is asking the governor to close those loopholes so that the corporation can start paying their fair share of taxes so we can continue with our social services and other good things that we actually do in this state. So the Occupy Faith leaders will be, or Occupy Faith members will be setting up beds in front of the state governor's office in New York City, and they will lay in the bed and they will actually pray. So this action is going to happen at the northwest corner of 40th Street and 3rd Avenue tomorrow morning at 11:45 a.m. So be there.
Okay, that's it for hardbacks and announcements. We have a packed agenda tonight, and the first item on the agenda is a proposal from the Kitchen Breakout Group of Occupalooza Occupicnic. Come on up.
So we came before the General Assembly back in February. The Kitchen Group came up with an idea to do this big festival, informational festival. A lot of the times while cutting vegetables and stuff, we get to talk a lot about the movement, why we're there, what we're doing in the movement, and we really think it's important that we do an outreach to everybody kind of outside of Occupy Wall Street to try and get some of the 58%, the 99%, the people that are working out there that can't come to meetings, that can't participate. I live out in Long Island half the time, and you know, people out there that they want to join us, but they don't know how. It feels inaccessible to a lot of people. So we came up with this idea to have a big festival party in Central Park on the Great Lawn. We're actually currently in negotiations with the city who will let us do it, but right now they want $1.4 million in permit fees. So, but we're still allowed to picnic. So we're still allowed to all meet in Central Park and have a big picnic. So we're going to schedule the day and we're going to move forward. We all like to say it's we're doing it as a yes. We're trying to do it as a yes festival where our first instinct is to say yes to things and not to say no, because we have a tendency to say no first. So we're trying to practice saying yes. And we're getting like tremendous feedback from people all around who have a lot of creative ideas, a lot of things they want to do. We want to have a lot of actions in the park, from having an Occupy eating contest to having alternative kind of coupon currencies to having giant origami, and I mean the ideas are just a 1% dunk tank, and we're just trying to have all. And the thing that we want to do, I'll read the what I wrote for this. Just so Occupalooza Occupicnic is an opportunity to bring the movement back in focus, reach out to the general public, and introduce them to OWS in a fun, educational, and creative way. We strive to be non-threatening, family-friendly, again, educational. The idea is to feature vision and goals, and in essence, the declaration of the occupation of New York City under the umbrella of Occupy Knowledge, which encompasses Occupy Peace, Occupy Health, Occupy Food, Occupy the Environment, Occupy Corporate Integrity, and Occupy the Constitution. We have lots of creative ideas. Our hope is to work in congruence with all of the working groups to be able to reach maximum potential and outreach. What we're hoping is we have our big event, and that we can really spread it out throughout the country, even offering almost like Occupalooza starter kits, so you could have one in your own community. I mean, they actually in Michigan, they already had an Occupalooza, and they did it kind of parallel to us. We were talking about it, somebody sent us this website, now we're talking to the people who did this one in Michigan. So we just want to be able to continue what we're doing as a work group, because we want to keep it organic and ground up, which is what it became. It really came from the kitchen work group. We want to keep it in OWS. We really don't want to be an affinity group. We want to be a work group of OWS and creating and making this happen. And we're looking for people's support.
You already got a statement of solidarity from the NYCGA.
That's correct.
So to clarify, we as a body have already given our solidarity for this event. So this is about creating a working group to facilitate that. So with that in mind, we're ready to open the stack for clarifying questions.
Go ahead. Anybody else?
I just wanted to know about the place that you said specifically on that law.
Yeah, I believe so. And we have our meetings on Monday night. So we had a bunch of questions for the woman who we're dealing with the Parks Department. She had asked that we email all the questions, and then she will call me and we'll go through it. So I emailed her all the questions. She has not called me back. She'll call. They were very nice. I went to the police department today because you have to get a permit from them. They were actually very nice about it. So, you know.
So, but you are determined to have it as that's on that law.
And the Great Lawn, I can answer that part. So the Great Lawn is all that's available in Central Park at all for us. And you know, we talked about doing it down by the Sheep's Meadow. That's not available. The Van Shell, none of that. And it's only available the last week of June.
So next up, Stan, is Jack.
Hi, Jack. What's up, baby? How's everything? Something like that. Well, I think that's kind of...
Occupy!
Occupy, baby. You know what? I'm going to tell you this. It's a yes festival, so it goes on the list, dude. Everything's a yes. We can, if you want to do Woodstock 43, as long as, and I think this is important, it's really important to realize that whoever wants to participate has to participate under the umbrella of the Occupy Declaration of Solidarity, that it's under the vision and goals of Occupy Wall Street. I mean, I think that's very, very important that everybody realizes that what this really is to teach people about what we stand for, to have groups that we're affiliated with, that we believe in, whether it's Greenpeace or the City Harvest or the Food Bank. They're with us to be able to kind of, you know, give out their information to people.
So nobody else is on stack, so I'm going to start closing stack unless somebody has... Okay, so you can speak, and then I'm going to close stack, so if you want to get on, raise your hand. Go ahead.
How is this related or in parallel, or I don't know, with pop-up occupation? Is it a different thing? Is it like
I don't know what pop-up occupation
so things that in Times Square, Westminster Park, like different ones around.
Don't know. Whoever they are, come see us, please. I mean, we are like this to everybody in Occupy Wall Street and beyond. If you believe in our vision and goals, and you believe in our Declaration of Solidarity, then come to our party. you know, because we want to embrace everyone. And this is going to be a love festival and a peace festival. And I'm asking, you know, everyone who's, you know, I am an angry person, believe me. I am a very angry person. That people will let, you know, but I try every day to say a little meditation and prayer and take that anger from my heart. I'm hoping we can have a day of Occupy where we all just encompass trying our hardest to come from good, to come from light, to come from, you know, peace, and that we have one day where we can show, there we go, my brother Jay there with Occupy Peace, you know what I mean? And let's go in there and just try to have a day where we can show everybody we are all human beings on this planet together as one, you know? And there's not a 99%, we're 100% humans. Let's try and be that to the best ability we can for each other.
So, we're gonna move on and open stack for concerns. If you have concerns, concerns and friendly amendments, we're gonna do them together. So if you have any concerns or friendly amendments that has to do with creating this working group, please raise your hand and get on stack.
You all look very unconcerned right now.
Wow, this is a good sign. How's everybody feeling? Good?
Did you have friendly amendments to a working group?
Yes.
Forming a working group? No, I don't have one. I just wanted to get the council.
Oh, we absolutely, that's a very good idea. Very good, thank you. Yes, on that.
Right.
Sorry, somebody missed that question.
On Friday.
His question was, he said, why don't we put information and literature at our food table? And I said, yes, that's a very good idea. So, and actually, if people have literature, you should put it at the food table. You want to put your information out, you get 150 to 200 people there a night. So I think that's an excellent suggestion.
Just real quick before we move on, we have a filmmaker from Italy who wants to film this General Assembly. Can we get a temperature check on allowing her to film this General Assembly? Thank you. Are there any questions, any concerns?
Does anybody not want to be on camera?
Exactly.
Just that. Okay, somebody back.
Nick.
Get out of here.
Just get him a
Let's
mask
move
or
on
something.
to the next person on stack for...
I have a question.
We'll put you on stack. Oh.
Like, what is this? Is this are you just an independent filmmaker? Are you a fully independent body? If so, okay.
I vowed.
But if you do have any concerns, she will not put you on camera.
I vowed to.
So we no longer have anybody on staff. So
No, you can talk about
staff is closed unless anybody wants to get on.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're ready to move forward with the consensus process. So the first thing we're going to ask for is if there are any stand-asides. Stand-asides mean that you don't like the proposal, it's not your favorite, but you're okay with it going through. You're not actually going to put a stop to it going through the consensus process. So with that in mind, are there any stand-asides? Just raise your hand. Looks like we have no stand-asides. So now we move on to blocks. Blocks are a lot more serious than stand-asides. Blocks are evidence of a serious ethical, moral, or safety concern, such that you might even consider leaving the movement if it were to go through. We didn't do this in showing the hand signals before, but this is a signal for a block. So, are there any blocks to this proposal?
I just want to hug.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else?
We have consensus.
We have consensus.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Octa Police! Right, all day and after dark, occupy Central Park! All day and after dark, occupy Central Park!
There you go. She got her thing through. That's a good idea. Totally good idea.
Okay, so is Shaz here?
Chaz, are you here? Looking for Chaz.
Shaz was just here.
Yeah, we're trying to put Chaz.
Shaz is right here. Okay, so Shaz has a proposal that he's trying to bring before the group, asking for some solidarity.
Hey you guys.
You had 20 minutes, so.
Yeah, we can do like 5 or 10. It's not an important disposal. So my name is Shaz, and I've been organizing here since like November, and I've done like a couple things in Occupy Wall Street, like started an Occupy Farms working group, worked out the Occupy office, worked in Occupy the archives, Occupy Wall Street archives, and I collected a lot of notes and stories. I like made friends and enemies and personal growth experiences. I wanted to write a book about Occupy Wall Street and the larger Occupy theory, the Occupy movement, what's going on. And I was asking for solidarity in writing that book. And this is sort of like uncharted ground, so it's a little, it's odd, and I wanted some feedback on this. I'm doing a Kickstarter campaign to fund writing this book. It's $3,000. That's why I'm proposing for 2 months of me going away and writing this, going over my notes. I don't want money, but I did want the support of the community. I'm not sure what that would entail. We do have like Twitter and Facebook, so maybe like itemize like just one Twitter link that I'm trying to write this book to my Kickstarter, or like one post on Facebook, or maybe even at the very least the passage of this proposal saying that, you know, solidarity with Shaz and writing this book. I'm thinking about how to phrase this proposal. Someone brought up an interesting point. I haven't written the book yet, so you don't know what I'm going to write. So I guess that's just the good faith that I'm going to try to, like today I've gone through the life of an occupier, trying to document since 8 this morning at the protest we did for unemployment right down the street, document that and go and talk to the people I've met since I've been here for the last couple months and collect all these stories and try to glean the wisdom from that. That's the intent, but I can't tell you what I'm going to write, just that's the project. And I just like, at the very least, you know, a statement of support in that type of project. The issues I'd be discussing are like, there's an ideological discussion versus anarchist, non-anarchist tactics, violence versus non-violence. I guess, like a tactful way to put it, like privilege versus non-privilege, like people are struggling to have enough money to stay involved in this movement, the handling of resources. And also I do want to do this outreach also to get feedback, so that way it's not just my opinion. Because I notice when I just present my opinion, sometimes I tend to stick my foot in my mouth. So that being said, yeah, open to discussion on how the community would support a project like that. Someone trying to write a book from within the community.
So just to clarify, Chaz is looking for a solidarity from Occupy Wall Street for the book.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna open Stack for clarifying questions. Please raise your hands and get on Stack for clarifying questions.
You can start us off, sir.
Yeah.
Mick, he's here.
From little that I know you were first long time ago propose some division of all the money that is donated to people who are occupied. And then another proposal I hear that you asking us to give you some money for your expenses to go to Switzerland. Now, you know, you gotta perform first. This is a volunteer organization to prove that you are sincere in serving this movement instead of gaining and asking for money for third time on your proposal or something that you're trying to do for yourself. If you are a good writer, you should be aware. Perform and write, all you need is pen and paper, and then bring it here and people support you. Do not ask us to support you as Occupy Wall Street because you don't represent us at all.
So I just wanted a quick point of process. That sounds more like a concern. So after clarifying questions, we will go to concerns and friendly amendments. So is there a clarifying question to that?
Yes, I'd like you to clarify that what is qualification that you have
What is your qualification for
that you
asking?
have to represent in writing a book that gives us kind of a symbol that you are writing. So what is that qualification?
This still sounds like a concern. So
Answer?
unless Shaz, you feel like you want to answer.
Yeah, so I guess like a point of clarification, that's not all I've done here, but I have done those things. The Davos, going to Switzerland, it was a similar project. I wasn't asking for money, but support for a fundraiser to raise my own funds. And this is the same way, not asking for money, but support for independent fundraiser for the Davos similarly. And I got involved with like housing issues here, so I decided to put that on hold. But I was asking for support to raise independent funds to go to Switzerland. So at that point, I wasn't asking for money. On the one to divide up the money among all occupiers, I did think that that was the thing to do at that time. And I still do. So I definitely sometimes propose ideas that aren't very popular. What is the justification for me asking for solidarity? Not money, but just support. Is that I have been here since a couple weeks before the raid, and so I do feel like I have a lot of stories to share about Occupy Wall Street and Occupy in general, and that's what I would like to share. So I guess the justification is that I've been here for a while, and I've been collecting notes and stories and talking to a lot of different people.
So, who's next on Stack?
I started Stack. I haven't clarified.
Why, on a movement this big, why are you opting to write this book yourself and not more of a collaborative effort with people in the movement to have more ideas or input for the book?
So he says, on a movement this big, why am I opting to write a book myself instead of have collaborative ideas? And I hope this isn't the end, but this is a good example of a model that other people will follow. My book's successful. There should be more writing about Occupy from occupiers. So there could be collaborative books. There could be an Occupy open source encyclopedia. So definitely I promote as many ideas as you want. Hopefully mine is the first of many. But I think I have a personal story and just these personal notes I've collected from people I've talked to. And I've run across, from people I've organized in the office to people I've stayed with in the squats and the churches. And that's a story that I would like to tell. I like the writings of Studs Terkel and the oral historians. And that's the personal writing that I would like to do. So that's why I'm not collaborating with people. But as a friendly amendment, if you guys wanted to add that, I'd be open to that type of idea.
I just like to remind people that we're still on clarifying questions. So these are questions about what the proposal is, and not concerns about it moving forward.
So I'm going to go ahead and close Stack now. If you really need to say something, raise your hand. We have 2 more people remaining on Stack with clarifying questions. Next up, Stack.
Hi, Shaz. What are you doing? So just to be clear, you want to do a Kickstarter campaign, and you want to have GA's blessings, as it were, and I imagine you'll say that on the Kickstarter, which is cool. If that's something, you know what I'm saying. But I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't, right? You can't do a Kickstarter. Anybody can, right? So that's the clarifying question. You're nodding to.
Yeah. So the clarifying question is, I'm going to go through with this project with or without the blessing of the community. But I thought, for transparency's sake, I'd much rather come to you guys, tell you what I'm going to do before I'm doing it, and I'm documenting it too. So even if you say no, I'm going to still go through with it, but I just thought it's interesting to have this discussion. A lot of stuff's going to be written about us by other people and also within the movement. So just to be upfront, how are we going to deal with that? I was interested in that type of discussion.
Next on Stack, last on Stack is Lisa.
Hi. My clarifying question is what is the point of the book, and do you have a skeleton or an outline of things you would like to achieve with the book?
Yeah, definitely. The point of the book is called Occupy Kiss, Anarchist blog from